is it. This is episode number 189 of NoLaughTrack podcast. This is Justin Severson, the host. Thank you, Circle of Heat, as always, for letting us play your music there at the beginning. My guest this week has been here before, twice, I think, if I remember correctly, and it is always a pleasure because he's very funny and knowledgeable and has lots of good stories. So there's a setup, and now you can't let me down, Will.
Nah.
Will Durst is here.
Hey, Justin.
Hey. Where do I begin? I'm going to begin with something, get some business out of the way here. Something we've talked about I know the last time we were here we talked about it, and it's the movie that you're a part of, 3 Still Standing.
3 Still Standing?
I tried to watch it.
How?
Exactly. How?
Yeah.
Why is this not available to me yet?
I agree.
It's been 2
Totally.
years since this thing's made, correct?
Well, last year, actually October of 14, it was premiered at the Mill Valley Film Festival, and then it did a series of different film festivals. It did the circuit.
Yeah.
It was in Toronto for the Hot Docs festival, and then it was in Austin, and it was in Denver, and a bunch of places. Woodstock. We went to Woodstock, which was fun.
Oh.
Yeah. And so now, because they didn't know what they wanted, who was going to pick it up. So now it's going to go to Netflix.
It is.
Should be in Netflix in a couple of months. I think it's going to be on Amazon Prime first. And then I don't know.
Okay.
Then I don't know.
Well, that's good news, though.
Still doing film. We're going to be in Sweden.
Oh, wow.
And we're on Air Canada. If you fly Air Canada, it's one of the availabilities on
No
your
kidding.
personal computer. Yeah. And also it made it to the Canadian Broadcast Channel, CBC, their movie channel. So it's, a little bit here, a little bit there, not much.
All right. Because I wanted to watch it since, we were going to talk today.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
I landed on a website where they said I could watch it, but it also had movies like Deadpool and all these other movies that are in theaters now. And I thought, I don't think this is legit. I'm going to close this page and I'm not going to, do some free download or whatever. I'm not.
Why not?
Because morally I can't steal movies. No, I don't, because I feel like if you do that, you're going to eventually get caught. That's what I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they will take away your internet privileges.
I don't want to be the guy that gets caught stealing movies.
After you get caught 6 times.
Yeah,
right
the
now,
thing is, I pay for we have satellite TV, we have Netflix, we have Amazon Prime. I have enough access to,
different stuff.
I don't need to break the law to get. I have more than I can handle already.
Yeah.
But when a movie that I want to see is not available, but I did see that it is, I think, next month. It said I could buy it for pre-order on Amazon.
Yeah, so I guess next month it's coming out. And as a Prime member, you'll be able to just watch it.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like I've already paid for it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, that's good news. Good news. How were you? Did you have a show last night? Is tonight the first night? When did you get to town?
Got to town yesterday.
You did. Did a show last night?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been such a weird the last couple of weeks. People have been showing up in midweek, so I'm getting confused. How was last night?
My career has like a sine wave. And there's the year of the presidential election, and that's where I kind of peak out.
Right.
And then the year after the presidential, nobody wants to hear about politics at all. They just, la. So that's why I did a show about being a baby boomer in 2013, because I did a one-man show called Elect to Laugh in 2012, because doing the one-man show, then you don't have people in front of you, you get to control the entire. And I started out on Super Tuesday of 2012, and the show was about 80 minutes long. And I did it every Tuesday at a theater in San Francisco. And by election night, it was 2 hours. That was lush and rich and thick, and fecund and fertile and febrile, and it was all those things. Yeah. And then it evaporated. So that's why. And this. Right now, because we're a week before Super Tuesday, so I am running. I'm writing the stuff much faster than I can remember it
Wow.
and place it into my act. And that's why I'm carrying around my little script.
Oh, okay. I
my
see
little
that.
9-page script and 8-point font.
Holy, you're not kidding.
Yeah, here. You can look at it.
Oh, let's not lose the page. Holy moly.
So that's my script right now.
Whoa, and you're not kidding. I didn't even.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I printed anything that small. It's almost hard to see.
9 pages, 8-point font, Times New Roman.
Wow.
And
even handwritten notes. This is going to,
yeah.
Someday this is in the Smithsonian, right?
Yeah.
This is under
So
glass.
what I do is I go over it and over it and over it, and then I write the handwritten notes.
Yeah, I see that.
And then I redo it. And if you look at the top, you'll see this is version 1.5.
I see, yeah.
Yeah. And so...
I just read the first 3 lines.
What? Oh, let us pray?
Yes.
Here we are in the middle of an election year. Let us pray. Yeah.
That's
so
really
that's...
funny.
Yeah. And then I picked up this trick that I did with the Boomer Raging show from LSD to OMG. On stage, I took an overhead projector with me.
Oh, that's right, yes.
And I had this moment in the middle where I talked about the presidents. And so I had a picture of all the presidents, of the baby boomers, starting out with Truman and then moving on all the way. And it was a lot of fun to use. And then I had other, lists, and I would do the piece of cardboard, with the overhead projector for the slow reveal.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that with this, and I found I can do all 17 of the Republican candidates that started out.
Yeah.
And the 6 Democrats who were mentioned, including Joe Biden, and I show a picture of them, and the audience is kind of interested because they've heard all these names, and and then I got a funny picture of Trump, and I got a funny picture of Christie, and I show Melania, our future first lady, in one of her provocative poses.
Uh-huh.
And then I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm going to get a picture. And this is going to be your future as she's lying, and she's busting out all over. And then I'm going to show Eleanor Roosevelt afterwards. Now, this is a first lady.
Yeah.
So, and it makes it a little more interesting.
Did Eleanor Roosevelt ever show skin?
I think she did show her ankle at one point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very provocative.
Yeah, back then.
Guys, ankle. Check it out.
Whoa.
She's ready for her centerfold.
So I'm doing that show again, Elect to Laugh 2016.
Okay.
And I start March 15, the Ides of March in San Francisco, and that's what this is about, putting the Hour 20 together.
Okay.
So last night, you asked a roundabout way, answering your question last night, I had to follow 2 really, really good acts. Brandy Brown, incredibly smart young African-American lady, very funny. And then Trevor Anderson, who's just wonderful. And it helped because they're both smart comics, and it makes the audience, sometimes they book me when I do a club, and it happened in Chicago at Zany's, and there was a comic open, and it was all humor. The humor was right there.
Yeah.
And so I would go on, and I'm talking about politics, which is already difficult. And, because they know Trump and maybe Cruz, and then the rest of them, they don't know. So I have to dump that material and go straight to, Jeb and Hillary. And, and it's fun when I get to play with everybody. So last night I was able to play, and it's the week before Super Tuesday. So I'm at the height of my powers.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes,
you are.
I just wish I had better jokes, but I will. Severson, I will. They will, because I learn something every time on stage, because I had this throwaway that I just did on stage, and I can't remember what it was now, but it was a throwaway, and I got a huge laugh. And it was a throwaway, and of course I couldn't remember it after I came off stage, but I keep waiting to get to that point of my act again and see where it naturally goes, and hopefully I can find it.
You should be recording all the shows right now.
I should, but I don't. I can't listen to myself. God.
I was asked that last week if because they started replaying the Eric started editing the podcast when we were in the back office here after recording, and someone asked me, are you okay listening to yourself? By myself?
Yeah.
I am. In front of other people, it's cringeworthy.
Yeah. Well, all I could think of was, "Oh, you stupid idiot! Why did you say that? What are you stuttering for? Are you drunk? What? You're slurring, for Christ's sake!" That's all I can think of.
Fair enough. I saw a Hillary commercial yesterday. She's got Morgan Freeman doing voiceover.
Yeah, she's clinging to the ankles of. Speaking of ankles, this is going to be the ankle show. She's clinging to the ankles of Barack Obama because she needs South Carolina as a firewall, and then if she can defeat Bernie in South Carolina, it's pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah,
because after Super Tuesday, he just doesn't have the ability to go in, and of course he's depending on kids, and the kids are notoriously fickle.
Well, I just saw I saw a thing this morning. There are more millennials now than baby boomers.
Yeah.
And then, like, what do you think of that? Versus the in relation to people getting out to vote. Like,
a lot more people with tattoos going to be seen at the polling places.
Let's put it this way. Let me ask this way: for your interests, is it better that more young people are voting or less?
Oh, I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't. Yeah. Go, good, do, be, yeah.
Yeah.
I wish them well, and I hope they get involved. The reason my generation was so politicized was, well, for one thing, the birth of cool happened during our parents' late generation, so we were floating on the cloud of cool, and they would pick us up and drop us into a war zone. They would just do that because they had a little thing called the draft. So, and all the adults thought, oh, this is we do wars and this is a good war. No, it wasn't a good war. They were told that World War II was a good war. Yes, it was. It was a good war. You had to fight that one. Yeah. Korea was a little murky, and then Vietnam, it was just the generals who, one bridge too far. So, so the entire generation was politicized, and we were so different from the previous generation. So, and that hasn't happened since. I mean, you can tell the difference just by the music. People can still listen to the music from the '60s. You can't listen to the music from the '40s unless you have a real interest in that.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So I mean, everything is because it hasn't really changed that much.
Yeah, that's a very good point. What do one of the first things I saw when I went on Twitter this morning? That's where I get all my news. And what was trending was the phrase "I love the poorly educated."
Yes.
Yeah.
You heard that last night. Yeah. Trump, during his let me explain to the audience what's happening here. Justin Severson and I are talking about something that happened last night because Tuesday was the Republican caucus in Nevada, which was not as complicated as the Democratic caucus, but they still had to show up and hang around. It's not like a primary. You just go and vote, for Christ's sake, get it over with. No, you're going to hang out. And that's why Minnesota's going to be such a bitch, because Democrats, well, let's everybody over here and talk amongst yourselves, and then we'll, and if you don't like, and then you can move over here. And, it's like musical chairs without the music and no chairs. Yeah, because that's, Democrats, because everybody's a snowflake. We're all each individuals. And, Republicans, it's you win it.
Yeah.
So Trump won, and they didn't have any polling because Nevada is notoriously difficult to poll because nobody has home phones, and there's so many transients or just recent people who showed up and immigrants to Nevada, you might say. Yeah. You could say that. And so Trump said, we won. We won across the board. We won with the well-educated, with the medium. We love with the poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. That's what he said.
Unbelievable.
Out loud, yes. That's his base, the poorly educated. Low information voters, often known as stupid people. But the beauty of saying low information voters is you can say it right in front of them, and they don't care. No. Yeah, that's us. Yeah.
He could probably, on the way out, sell him a T-shirt that says that. Right?
We are the poorly educated.
Yeah. Spelled incorrectly.
Yeah. Educated with a K.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. I mean, you go back and I could shoot someone on Main Street, that comment, and that's wild. And then, you know what? You're dumb, but you know what? You like me, so good enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Glenn Beck called him dangerous. Glenn Beck.
I have noticed in the last few days that the stories are popping up. It's hey, people, you might have to really get used to this. This is legitimate now.
And he hasn't spent any money. And according to him, he's worth $10 billion. So
yeah, right.
He could spend, $1 billion, with ads. And I don't know how vulnerable Hillary is. I mean, you think about Hillary. She's been in the public eye for 25 years, since 1991. I mean, nationally, not just Arkansas, nationally. So, and
we've seen her bloom, Will. We've seen her bloom.
We've seen her bloom and die. We've seen her bloom and wither. We've seen everything.
Yeah.
She's dried up and desiccated now. And poor Bill, you see Bill, and he doesn't have that joie de vivre. He used to be, and he was, had this lust for life, and now he talks like this.
The guy's had multiple heart surgeries.
Yeah, he doesn't have the same.
Hell no.
But Hillary, and I'm of two minds. I don't know which way to go on this. I don't know if she has more baggage than the first United flight out of O'Hare after a freak spring blizzard, or if she's been chewed on so much that there's no meat left on the bone, on the scandal bone. I mean, you think about it, there was Whitewater, and there was Travelgate, and there was Gategate, there was Vince Foster, and there was Benghazi, and now her emails, and really? Another scandal? And I think everybody goes, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a Clinton. Remember Bill?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We all liked him.
That's the great thing about Obama. No scandal, man. I mean, none of his people have been put in jail or, yeah.
You know what? I watched him on that Jerry Seinfeld, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
He got coffee in a car with Jerry Seinfeld?
They couldn't leave the White House premises. So they just
sat in the car?
Yeah, they drove. There are roads on the property there, so they drove in circles
around the
basically.
South Lawn?
Yeah.
It's hysterical. I did not know that.
They tried twice to get out. Once with Jerry behind the wheel, and then once with the president behind the wheel. And the security guy's like, "Oh, come on, I can't let you go.
I can't let you go." Was he funny?
He was charming. It was good.
Oh, he was the best.
Yeah, it was good.
He's letting loose now because he's got nothing to win. He's got nothing to lose. He's letting loose.
Yeah, exactly.
The Golden State Warriors won the NBA championship last year, so they had their visit to the White House about 3 weeks ago. And he was wonderful. He was he knew buckets, he knew ball. So he could talk in their language, and he knew idiosyncrasies about Draymond Green.
Oh, wow.
And he's actually golfed with Curry before, because Curry has this great benefit, nonprofit people that he helps out.
Yeah.
So he's just so smooth,
Yeah, very. I don't know if I've ever asked you. Have you ever met a president?
Not this one.
No.
I met 3 elected presidents. I met George H.W. Bush, and I met Bill Clinton and Al Gore. Elected.
Wait,
presidents.
Al Gore.
Elected president. Yeah. There's a better way to put that. But yeah, I shook W's hand in New Hampshire and McCain's hand, but not Willard or Barack. Not yet.
Okay.
Hopefully. I actually told jokes for Bill Clinton. I met him twice. Once while he was president, because there was a wedding at the White House. Barbara Boxer's daughter married Hillary's brother.
Okay.
And Barbara Boxer's daughter used to work at a comedy club in San Francisco called the Holy City Zoo.
Oh, yeah.
And she was friends of a lot of comics. So she invited a lot of comics to the wedding. And so we got to go. And we were like sophomores invited to the senior prom. We were overdressed and, really amped up.
Sure.
And one of the comics bought, as a gift, he bought a clock. and he had put batteries in it. So he actually tried to enter the White House with a package that was ticking.
Oh,
Yeah. There you go.
brilliant.
But shook Bill's hand and Hillary's hand, in the reception line and blah, blah. And then I worked for him one time. Sue Murphy, who is a comedian, she was the executive producer of Chelsea's show, I think, for a while.
Okay.
And she's very funny. But
Yeah.
she put together.
I've heard her on a podcast.
She put together a benefit for Barbara Boxer, and Bill showed up. And it was her and Kevin Kataoka and me, and she took the bullet. She went on first, even though she's at the time was a legitimate headliner.
Uh-huh.
And so she went on first. Kevin went on second, then I went on third. And Clinton was late, of course. They had a little thing they used to call Clinton time, which was always 45 minutes late.
Oh.
And he was on Clinton time. So everybody had to truncate their act. So, and instead of an hour-long show, it was now a 40-minute show, And I got up and I told, this was right after 9/11, and I told some jokes. And everybody was laughing. And then I saw Clinton was drinking a glass of water. So I used to do this joke. During that whole anthrax thing, they had Bush opening Cheney's mail. And Clinton laughed so hard he spit water through his nose. So that's been the highlight of my comedy career to this point, up till today.
Yep. Obviously.
Gave the former president of the United States a sinus douche.
I want to ask this question that has nothing to do with what we've been talking about, but it just I want to ask before I forget. Jake Johansson was on last week. Had a really fun episode.
Very
with
funny
him.
guy,
Right.
but from Iowa. So they kind of equal each
well, I'm
other.
sure you know him from the San Francisco area, right?
Yeah.
We talked briefly about how he and coincidentally Barry Manilow just announced a tour. He's coming to St. Paul, but Jake opened once did a tour with Barry Manilow.
Did a tour.
Yes. Have you ever had a weird, open for?
No, because of the political thing.
Yeah.
People are afraid to.
Well, maybe someone made a mistake and booked you anyway.
No. I opened up for Hiroshima once. It was a jazz band.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I opened up for, not many people. One of my first gigs ever was at the Oriental Theater in Milwaukee before I moved to San Francisco. It's 1977 or 78. And the Knack, a band called the Knack, had the number one single.
My Sharona?
My Sharona.
Yeah.
Number one single, number one album in America. And their opening band got stuck in a snowstorm in Cleveland, so the manager of the Oriental Theater, Pat Moret, I think, asked me if I would open up for the Knack. So I went on stage, and I've been doing comedy for 4 years, and and I go out on stage. All I had to do was 15 minutes, and I got $50, man. It was and I got blown in the dressing room. It was one of the greatest show business moments, man. But
they didn't get a chance to meet the Knack, so they went for the opener?
Yeah. No, it was one of my girlfriends who was so excited that she was going to meet the Knack. But then I went out on stage and I died.
Oh.
It was 2,400 15-year-old girls on Reds. And so nothing I did. I could not. We had no shared references. I couldn't even do car jokes because they didn't drive, much less relationships or politics. And I did a little politics back then.
Yeah.
But, oh, God, it was hideous. But I stayed out there for 15 minutes and got $50.
She got you. Your gal got you to relax.
And that was.
You needed a nap before that show.
Yeah, that was because when you're starting out, you think this is going to happen all the time.
Oh, you're admitting it doesn't.
Like Rodney Dangerfield,
I love it. So I want to do I hope this works out well. It could be a disaster, but I mentioned this to you briefly before we started recording. I have something that it's a quiz I found online, and it gives you some questions, and then you answer them, and at the end it tells you which presidential candidate you should most likely be voting for.
Totally in.
All right. So there's a nice set of questions here. So
Bernie.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So should we? You want to answer? You want to give your
Yeah.
truthful answers here, and we'll
I
see
will.
what we get here. Okay. All right. So we're gonna. We're starting out pretty hot here. What is your stance on abortion? I've never mentioned abortion on this podcast.
Unlimited
before.
abortion on demand. Really, if you want more than one, I think you should be able to go in there.
I'm gonna go pro-choice then. All right.
Yeah, I guess.
No, pro-life. All right.
Pro-choice.
Yeah, pro-choice. We got pro-choice. We're going to like that. And how important? I'm going to say that's very important to you. Do you support the legalization of same-sex marriage?
Yes, I do.
Good for you. By the way, we were talking briefly before we started recording about Jamaica. You and I were.
Oh, yeah?
Did you know that they are hardcore homophobic, like
Yeah.
in Jamaica? Like
Catholic countries.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Boy, that made me uncomfortable in a few times. I'm not gay. I was there with my wife, but just how different our views were, in mixed company. It was like, whoa, okay, I'll keep my mouth shut on this one.
Religion.
Yikes. Should the government continue to fund Planned Parenthood? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Should the government increase environmental regulations?
Little sidebar.
Yes,
here.
please throw stuff as many sidebars as you'd like.
For
Absolutely.
people who and you get this with a lot of liberals, there's not a dime's worth of difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. Bullshit! The first thing that George W. Bush did, his first executive order as president on January 21st, 2001, was he cut off all funding for any Planned Parenthood association overseas. If they mentioned the word abortion, if they offered it or offered references or whatever, he just because of his little gift to the hard right. That's the first thing he did in office. So not a dime's worth of difference. Yeah, except the fact that thousands of African women died because of this movement, because of the one little signature, and there's not a dime's worth of bite me. Sorry.
I love it. This
Sorry.
is exactly what
Sorry.
I'm looking for, Will.
Sorry. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Should the government increase...
But not funny. It should be funny. I wish I could make it funny.
Environmental regulations.
Yes.
Yes. To prevent global warming.
Yes.
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 Yes. Should national parks be preserved and protected by the federal government?
Yes.
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 Do you ever go to do you go to state parks, national parks?
Yes.
Yeah. Should
They have wonderful ones in California.
yeah, oh yeah. Not I don't know from experience, but yes.
Northern California, man, it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. We have a road called Highway 1, and it rides along the ocean, and because it's not the fastest way to get from San Francisco to L.A., it's generally, just locals, who live on the coastal communities and stuff, and it's just overwhelmingly beautiful.
Yeah.
And the fact that more people don't do it, and then there's like this little state park that right on the side of the road that the elephant seals kind of took over like 20 years ago because of the changing of the warmth of the oceans. And, and now they're all in this, and you just get off and you look at, and there's no charge, and it's incredible.
That sounds beautiful.
Down by Cambria.
That sounds beautiful. What else we got here? Should producers, Will, be required to label genetically engineered foods?
Yes.
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 Frankenfoods.
Frankenfoods. What did I just buy yesterday that in a huge label it said non-GMO? It was it was
chicken.
No.
At Whole Foods.
Vanilla extract.
Non-GMO
For
vanilla extract.
Yes, we were making homemade ice cream.
Were you really?
Yes.
Well, you have many more depths than I would have first.
Yeah, well, it was a gift we got.
How was it?
A wedding gift. Delicious. It's like the 5th, 6th time I've done it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, really good. Really good.
An ice cream maker.
Yeah, but I bought the
What kind?
Cuisinart.
A Cuisinart.
There's no churning anymore, Will. Like
really?
the one. Yeah, no. You plug it
That's
in.
butter, isn't it?
Well, no. There's a.
there
No, I've
churning?
seen the ones where the hand crank on the
yeah.
ice cream makers, the homemade ice cream makers. This one you plug in and flip the switch, and it does the mixing for you. It's awesome.
Cool.
I work for Cuisinart. No, I don't. Should physically and mentally capable adults on welfare be required to work?
Yes.
Yes. Be required to work. All right. Should employers be required to pay men and women the same salary for the same job?
Yes.
Required. Now that's interesting. How would it? How would it?
I know.
How would it be
That's
required?
yeah.
I mean, should they? Yes. Required.
That's the problem with also the previous question. Because a lot of times people, especially single mothers, if they're required to work for welfare, I mean, what do they do for daycare? And sometimes they can, So those are both, tough.
Yes. Oh, here's an interesting one that people get really fired up about. Should all welfare recipients be tested for drugs?
No, not unless the politicians are.
Great, that's awesome. How about these involve domestic policy? Should there be more restrictions on the current process of purchasing a gun?
Well, I don't know. It's a state thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's sure. Yeah.
He says yes.
Background checks.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Should people on the no-fly list be banned from purchasing guns and ammunition?
No. No, because you can make that. I'm that close to making the no-fly. If Donald Trump is president, I'm on the no-fly.
Should there be term limits set for members of Congress? No,
because then the lobbyists end up with the power. It's happened in California because we have term limits for our state legislature for senators, and you find out that nobody can get anything done.
Okay. Do you support the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act,
also
a.k.a.
known as Obamacare?
Obamacare.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, you do support that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It's how comedians have insurance,
yes!
right?
It's not like I'm an employee of Acme Comedy Company or I belong to the Comics, Clowns, and Jesters Union. I'm not a member of Congress, so yeah.
Yes. I'm getting my insurance from the Podcasters Union. No.
Yeah. Soon. Soon.
You know what? It probably will be. Should the federal government require children to be vaccinated for preventable diseases? Should they get involved with go over people's religious rights and make them get shots?
Oh, screw people's religious rights. Everybody wants their religious rights to be demanded for everybody, to apply to everybody.
Yeah.
They don't believe in abortion, so nobody can have abortion.
Right.
They don't believe that you should draw pictures of Muhammad, so nobody can draw pictures of Muhammad. Well, you know what? I don't want my wife, be forced to walk 5 paces behind me dressed as a grieving beekeeper. So keep your regulations to yourself.
I like it. Do you support? I think I know your answer to this one. Do you support the legalization of marijuana?
Actually, I don't smoke pot. I get paranoid. I'm one of the. I think there's 10% of them, like gays. It's 10% gay and 10% people get paranoid when they smoke pot, and I just do. I get too internal. But I think everybody should have. I start thinking of all the stuff that I should be doing instead of the fun that I'm having. Everybody else is waving the music out of their eyes, and I'm worried about the next project. That's sitting on my desk.
Yeah, right.
So, but yeah, I think it should be legalized. Yeah.
You need to combine the two somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paranoia and gay?
No. No, the working but getting rid of the paranoia and smoking.
No, I can't. Oh, man, the new pot?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. It's so powerful.
Yeah, I saw did you see this? It's Girl Scout cookie season.
Yes, it is.
Have you been hit up?
But the little Girl Scouts are outside of pot dispensaries.
Isn't that awesome?
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Sold out.
Yeah.
Sold out.
Makes sense.
Uh-huh. Brilliant. Should a photo ID be required to vote?
I think so.
Yeah. I think so, too. Should prisons ban the use of solitary confinement for juveniles?
I don't think they should ban solitary confinement. I think there should be limits on it, but yes, say yes.
Say yes.
Yeah.
Should the U.S. accept refugees from Syria?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Should foreign terrorism suspects be given constitutional rights?
Foreign terrorism subjects, constitutional rights. Yeah, I think anybody who makes it to the shores gets the same rights as everybody else. I think that's the legal system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Should the government decrease military spending?
Yes! Yes! We spend as much as the next 8 countries combined. That means 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 don't add up to 1. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And then you got these idiots, these cretinous, full-toed, butt-wipe lizard sticks who are saying, I'm going to make America stronger. You idiot! Sorry.
This isn't on this quiz, but this is my own question. Is there a tax law that should be repealed? What's one that comes to mind when I say that?
There's so many taxes and regulations that should be revealed. There should be revoked, and there should be a citizens committee telling people this is ridiculous. I mean, regulations. The fact that when I have a babysitter for our cats, and I pay her $25 a day to stay at our house and watch our cats, that I have to pay unemployment insurance for her? Really? Seriously?
Is that a real thing?
Yes.
What?
Yes. What? I know.
Wait, 25? How much is it?
Well, it's $20 a day.
Oh, okay.
When we had a dog, it was 25. And then I dropped it down to 20.
I'm always looking for another part-time job. Maybe I could.
She likes it because we have cable.
Yeah, could do a little cat sitting. Do you support increasing taxes for the rich in order to reduce interest rates for student loans?
Yes.
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 Yeah. I'm still paying off student loans, and that was 20 years ago.
I went to the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. I did not go to Madison because Madison was a party school, and I didn't need to double down, if you catch my drift. So I went to Milwaukee, and also I followed the girl there. It's the story of my career. But I went for 5 semesters at UWM, and then the 6th semester, I took all the grant and loan money, and I got a combination of both every year, every semester, and I ran away to California with it. And I tried to make it a show business, and I got kicked out, and I had to come back to Wisconsin. So I came back to Milwaukee, and I applied for loans and grants, and I got some more. And I went for 3 semesters. In the 4th semester, I took the money and ran away to California again. And then I came back, and I applied again for grants and loans. And they said, okay, but this is the last time. And I went for another couple, and I never graduated. I studied journalism and theater and film and broadcasting, and I got a little bit, conversant in all of them.
Sure.
But then I started doing stand-up, moved out to California, caught the wave, got very lucky, caught the crest of the comedy wave, and in 1989, Debbie and I were lucky enough to be able to buy a house. But before we could get a loan, I had to pay off my student loan.
Oh.
And I was worried. Oh, my God.
Was there any negotiation, or did you pay it all off?
No, I had to pay the whole thing off.
Really?
And it was $4,200.
Oh, wait a minute.
I had lived for 7 years.
That's not much.
$4,200. That's because we had 1% interest.
Wow.
Our loans were 1% interest.
Young people, are you listening to this right now? 20-year-olds, are you listening to this?
Yes. You
1%.
should be out in the streets. You should be burning down banks. Look at the 60s. Look what we did. Find Black Panthers who are involved in this. Burn down the bank, for Christ's sake. Just 3 or 4 of them. You don't have to make sure that, not like the math department in Madison. Make sure everybody's out of the building before you burn it down. But Jesus Christ, don't let them do this to you. Yeah.
All right. Back to the quiz here. Do you support Common Core national standards?
You know what Common Core is? It's not a law. You know, Ted Cruz says, if elected, I'm going to repeal every word of Common Core. Dude, it's a set of standards that the states either agree to or they don't. It's not a law. You're going to repeal. There's nothing to repeal. It's not a law. Ted Cruz, eternally vigilant against imaginary legislation everywhere. He's an idiot. Yes, if you want Common Core, the state decides. Yes.
Cruz, he's the one who is accused of just saying what people want to hear, right? Takes out a topic like, "Hey, here's the most popular opinion." Isn't that his reputation?
No, that's pretty much all of them.
It's pretty much all.
Yes.
Yes.
They especially Ben Carson. Poor Ben Carson. You know, he's a wonderful man. He is a wonderful. I mean, he's a pediatric neurosurgeon. He works on he operates on the brains of little children to make them better.
Yeah.
There should be more pediatric, but apparently the experts were right. You know, politics is not brain surgery. But I don't know what his slogan is for his campaign. Let's be nice to one another.
Yeah. Oh, get some pep in your step, man. That guy's just too.
Yeah, I think he's dipped into his own prescription bag.
I mean, you could convince me of that.
Yeah.
Because, speed it up, man. Speed it up. I want to reach through the TV and shake him. Like, just spit it out, man.
A little alacrity.
Yeah. I know you have.
You're running for president.
I know you have thoughts.
Yes.
I know you have thoughts. Good thoughts. Should illegal immigrants have access to government-subsidized health care?
Yes, I think everybody should.
Okay. Should Muslim immigrants be banned from entering the country until the government improves its ability to screen out potential terrorists? No. Should the U.S. increase restrictions on its current border security policy?
Yes.
It's, we're almost done here. Should the government... Oh, this is the last one. Yeah. Should the government fund space travel?
Yes.
Yes, really?
Yes. I want to go back to my home planet of Mars.
I feel bad the kids don't get
I know.
watch the space shuttle go up anymore. That was always a thrill.
Yeah, well,
I don't know what we got from it, but
I grew up during Mercury and Apollo.
Right.
And they would stop school and turn on the TVs and watch the launches.
Actually, what is it, the 35 or something like that, of the Challenger explosion?
Yeah, Challenger space.
Yeah, I was in 5th grade when that happened. I remember my teacher. Yeah, they were showing it on TV in some other classrooms. My class, there weren't enough televisions to go around to every class. Ooh. We didn't watch it. My teacher snuck out and went to another classroom and watched it. Came back crying. She had applied.
Devastated. Oh, she had applied?
She had applied.
Sally Ride was the teacher.
Krista McAuliffe.
Krista McAuliffe, that's right, was the teacher.
Yeah.
And she went up.
Uh-huh. I'll never...
Your teacher had applied to be the teacher.
Yes.
Wow.
That's, when people say, where were you when that happened? That's my first, where were you?
And that was, 30 years ago?
Yeah, in 86, I believe. Wow. Yeah, 86.
I remember where I was. I woke up. I was doing a gig in Colorado Springs, and I was staying at a hotel, and I turned on the TV, and I could tell immediately something was wrong because it was CNN, and the guy was talking like this, and it was very serious. And whoa, when you turn on something.
Yeah.
How about 9/11? Where were you? Oh, obviously a funny story.
Have I ever talked about that on this?
Funny 9/11 story. You hardly ever hear those.
Yeah. I was. That's.
You don't have to. You don't have to say. It's obviously causing a bit of discomfort.
No, it's God, I don't know how much I should say.
Let's not use names.
No.
Where were you?
I was in Minneapolis. And I had spent the night at a female friend's house.
At a friend's house.
And then so we had a fun night like the night before,
right.
And that slept in,
which was a Monday night.
Yep.
So obviously Monday night you were partying.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
Tuesday
morning slept in.
Slept in.
woke up and hung out for a bit, and then got to my car and turned the radio on. And Jesse Ventura, who was the governor at the time,
Right.
was on the sports radio station I like to listen to. And I'm going, what the hell? What is he doing on here? And that's how I found out. Then got home and turned the TV on, and then saw the visual proof of what had happened, and then called my friend and was like, "Do you know what the fuck just happened?" While we're never gonna forget this, and we haven't. And have
you talked to her recently?
It's been a year or so, 2 years maybe. But on the 10-year anniversary of 9/11,
2011, yeah.
She sent me an email, and I hadn't heard from her in a long time. She sent me an email saying, "Hey, remember when? Isn't that amazing?"
Wow.
Yeah. So, no, she's I can't. I don't want to say
no,
who that was.
No.
She's
married. She has kids.
She's not married, but she's a name. She's actually a name some people might know that are comedy fans. I'll just say that. So
interesting.
Yeah.
I was in San Francisco on my way to New Orleans for the New Orleans Comedy Festival. And so I'm in the shower, and I hear it because I have a radio in the shower, and I hear it on the radio, and I realize that I was not going to New Orleans. So
no.
Still pissed at Osama bin Laden for that. Man, it was going to be a great week, too. But then Lewis Black couldn't make it into San Francisco, so I filled in for him.
Oh, you picked up some of his gigs.
I picked up a gig.
Well, hey, see?
I know. It all works out.
I have the results.
Oh,
Will,
yeah,
of our quiz.
Yeah,
those were 26 questions. In case you weren't counting. No.
Hillary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yep. It said candidates you side with. Hillary Clinton 98%.
Wow.
Bernie Sanders 95%.
Close.
And then who are these?
I think that was because I want more restrictions on the border.
Okay.
I think that was the anti-Bernie.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Do you even know this name? Jill Stein?
Yeah, Dr. Jill Stein.
Okay.
She's the Green Party.
Yeah. She's not part of your presentations.
No, I should actually throw her in.
Green Party.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You side with her 89%.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then we go down the list here. Bloomberg, Gary Johnson, Ted Cruz, Trump 30%, and Ben Carson 30%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Do you think that was accurate then?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're admitting now you'll be voting first?
No, I live in California. It doesn't matter what I say.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. California, man, we are blue. We're beyond the whole blue thing. We're post-blue. We're bluer than the sliver of a liver of an alcoholic Smurf.
That's perfect. All right, I think that went well. The quiz. What do you think?
I thought you meant
No,
the
we're not
podcast.
done. No,
well, we're not done.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I have a question for you about.
I have an answer.
These are two things that I don't think go well together. There's a brand new survey or whatever, some experts. San Francisco. Did you see this? Named the best place to live, not on the planet, but in the United States. Based on, and I have this for you, and I will read it to you. And this, I brought this with because you're a San Francisco guy. The consulting firm Mercer, the annual list of best cities to live in. Not a single American city made the top 25. This is based on healthcare, education, economy, housing, and social policies. The city in the United States that did the best was San Francisco at 28. Minneapolis, where we are now, I think was 60-something.
On the planet.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah. So do you agree with San Francisco? Does it make sense that it made but 28th only?
The problem with San Francisco is it's so expensive, and healthcare, and I'm sure that's where they. But in terms of museums and walkability,
comedy.
Well, comedy is tough. I mean, both the clubs right now are owned by Live Nation, so yeah, that's they kind of got a stranglehold on San Francisco. So it's, San Francisco has become another feeder to New York and L.A., because that's where the cameras are plugged in, as Tom Rhodes, my good friend, is wont to say. So, but yeah, I love it for so many different reasons. I love it for the food, the view, the climate. I love the climate because it's always sport coat weather.
And you look good in a sport coat. Let's be honest.
I need the pockets.
Okay, well, this is the thing that I think that doesn't go along with that, and you sort of mentioned it, and this is another story I saw. Only 11% of households can afford most San Francisco homes.
A friend of mine who I worked with last week in Tahoe at the Improv at Harvey's, Larry Bubbles Brown, he's one of the other guys.
In the movie.
And he has a rent-controlled apartment. He's been there for 32 years.
Uh-huh.
And it's a studio in the marina, which is built on landfill, so it could liquefy during an earthquake. But Larry pays like $700 a month for his studio.
Okay.
And across the hall, a studio came up on the market, and they rented it last month for $3,500 for a studio with no parking.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, $3,500 for a studio. And it's because all the Twitter kids, Twitter and Facebook and Google and Apple and Instagram and Foursquare, and they're all, if not downtown, we have these things called Google buses. And Google Bus is just a generic version of what happens is Google will hire these transports, Bauer Transport, giant buses, but lovely buses with mood lighting and Wi-Fi and leather seats and tray tables to work at, and they're free. If you live in the city, you go to a bus stop, and there's only like 20 different stops that they make, and there's different routes, and certain buses serve, and they pick you up, and they take you down to Mountain View, 35 miles away, in the Google bus or the Apple bus, but we just call them Google bus because it sounds funny. And they stop at city bus stops, so they use our infrastructure, and if you live near a Google bus stop, those apartments and property values are raised up because all these kids, and they all want to live. I live in the boring section. I live in the Sunset District.
Okay.
It's the kind of resident. It's like living in the suburbs, but I don't have to cross a bridge. It's out by Golden Gate Park. Okay. And I actually have a driveway that I can park in. But I can't walk to a grocery store or a little market or anything. Gotcha. So I have to use the car. But it's that expensive. When Twitter went public, and they went public at 24, and a year later, their stock was vested. So you have to wait a year, otherwise the tax hit is like 60% instead of 35% when you sell your stock. Okay. So everybody waited a year, and after a year, 2,200 millionaires hit the streets of San Francisco. 2,200 people had made $1 million at Twitter because they were paid in stock. During the course of their employment, they would get stock here and stock there and stock. And once it went public, 2,200 millionaires. So,
got to make room for them. Yes. They got to live somewhere.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
are you doing Airbnb at your house, renting out there's no basement, the attic?
There's the movement. This happened in Manhattan, of course, and everybody moved to Brooklyn and Red Hook and blah blah. Mm-hmm. And now they're being forced to move to Queens because Brooklyn is so expensive now. Same thing's happening in San Francisco. Everybody moved to Oakland, and now Oakland is getting so expensive. They're the little burbs next to Oakland. Yeah. Are becoming gentrified.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A friend of mine, not a friend, another comic in San Francisco, W. Kamau Bell. Oh, yeah. He had a show, Totally Biased, very funny show, produced by Chris Rock. And he said you can tell gentrification is becoming a pain in the ass because now white people are complaining about gentrification.
Right. It's not fair.
Yeah.
It's just not fair.
Yeah. But we live in the boring section. We nobody screws with our restaurants. I mean, it's gotten so hoity-toity down there. They're getting rid of the old dive bars, and we've lost 4 places in the last 2 years that we used to go to. We lost Tosca, and they fixed it up and made it fancy, and it's, just hoity-toity. And same thing with Alfred's Steakhouse, which is reopening, Joe's of Westlake, which is reopening, and they just raised the prices, and, they price everybody out. And you just can't. There's restaurants with $275 prefix menus in San Francisco. $275.
That's
for a prefix menu. Yeah.
It may as well be on Mars for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the likelihood of me going there.
Yeah.
Put it on Mars. Yeah. Wow. Do you still have a place? You still have a neighborhood place, though?
Oh, yeah. We have the Gold Mirror, and there's Howard's for breakfast. And, yeah, because we live out by, we have like 3 different kind of hoods that we hang out in. There's the Inner Sunset Hood by 9th and Irving, and then there's the West Portal Hood, which is West Portal. So we kind of bounce back and forth.
Gotcha. I know we've talked in the past about your writing. You've written quite a few books.
Oh, you got a new book. I didn't bring it, but
you do.
It's not a book. It's like a large pamphlet. It's called 54 Handwritten 30-Second Mysteries, because I want to write a mystery set in a comedy club, and I keep saying that I'm going to do it. So what I did was I wrote these little. They're just paragraphs. Each one is about 100 words. 30 seconds for the average reader. So, and I wrote them all out, and then I did a little illustration that has something to do with the little story, and they're like self-contained mysteries, just a paragraph long.
Where is this available?
At the show. Only at the show. You have to come to the show.
Oh, do you have them this week then?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
What else? Anything else you're selling? Any old CDs? Or?
No.
Hopefully,
I'll be able to talk to Schlissel while I'm here. Maybe he can tape. Yeah, because the last CD I did was Elect to Laugh, and that was in 2012. And then I had the whole Boomer Show, which can be generic and get me more airplay, so a larger sound exchange.
Nice. And then I know you're still writing stuff for different...
I write a weekly column. They get syndicated, but it's not by one of the big syndicators. It's Kegel Cartoons. So it goes to like 30 or 40. It goes to everybody, and then who picks it out of the subscription. So 30 or 40 newspapers a week, and a lot of websites. And I never know which newspapers until I get an angry email from Osceola, Florida, or Prescott, Arizona. They hate me in Prescott, Arizona.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess the person who's the editor of the Prescott Statesman likes my stuff, or he likes the controversy, but I get all these you liberal libtard. That's what I always get. You Obama-loving libtard.
Where's Prescott? Have you
and they call me a moron, and they spell it wrong.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know where Prescott is.
You haven't even looked it up?
No, I think it's between Flagstaff and Phoenix.
Okay.
On 15. Not 15. What road is that? I don't know. It might be 15. Yeah. Because 35 West. Minnesota, Jesus, 35 West. What do you want? 35 West North, or 35 West South, or 35 West East, or 35 West West? I mean, 35 West, it's such a pain in the ass.
I can tell you people that have lived like in Minnesota their whole lives get confused. That have been driving for 20 years get confused. Well, I'm just north. I'm on 35. I'm heading towards which 35? I don't know.
Which 35? Yeah, how are you supposed to know which 30? Give it another name. 235. What's wrong with 235?
I agree. I agree. My wife and I have had a not fights, but like. Where she gets herself lost, and I'm going, you know where this 35W is, that one. 35E is the one over here, St. Paul. Like, you should know the difference by now. But no, it's easily confused. Oh. It really is. It really is.
And Scott Walker in Wisconsin, because he took away $250 million from the University of Wisconsin university system, and he gave like 3 weeks later, he gave $250 million to Cole to build a new Buck Stadium or arena.
Right.
So I mean, you don't even have to. He couldn't have made it 235. It was 250. But what he did was he raised the speed limit on Wisconsin highways to 70.
Hey,
so everybody is so
distraction.
excited.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, we get to go.
Brilliant.
It was.
And they already have fireworks. Otherwise, you got to use that one.
Yeah, you guys don't have fireworks?
No, that's correct. Or the Sunday liquor sales, remember?
You don't have Sunday liquor sales?
Correct.
What? Huh?
Huh? At a liquor store. No, the liquor stores are closed on Sundays.
Jesus, welcome to the 7th year of the 2nd decade of the 21st century, people.
Just stock up.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Anything else we should mention here before we hit the road here? You got a show coming up in like 3 hours, so.
Yeah. Yes. And this is, one of the few clubs that I can do because I'm so old and, here you actually have mixed ages. So many clubs market themselves, just to young people. And the average age of a comedy club is usually 18 to 35, which was great. But here, the 612 area code, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan. As I say in my show, they are my target demographic. People who read or know someone who does. and I love working here, and I can learn a lot about my act.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Will. I think that's all I have.
Wow.
Yeah, unless there's something else we need to get out
well,
there.
I'm so honored to be part of podcast 189 with Justin Severson.
We did it.
Yeah.
We did it. 189 is
189.
in the books.
Yeah.
Thank you, Will.
Boom.